evening, everybody. A marvellous assembly of people. It's so good of you all to turn out.
Cadet Warrant Officer Jonathan Snowden.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to take this time tonight to tell you about what I've got out of cadets, how it's affected me, and how I'm now giving back to the Corps. I joined 2431 Keighley Squadron in November 2007. I was a shy little child. I didn't really know what to expect. Within my first year, I was invited to Beckingham training camp. Beckingham's what we call the Greens camps. We'd wear our DPN uniform, we do activities such as fieldcraft and shooting, and it really showed me all the different kinds of activities you can get up to in cadets. It cemented to me within my first year that this was the organisation to be in. The following year, I was invited to RAF Valley. You might have heard about RAF Valley. It's where His Royal Highness Prince William has been doing a tour in the search and rescue helicopter. It's come to an end recently, and I'm sure you've heard about it in the news. RAF Valley was completely different to Beckingham. We wore our blue uniform and did other activities such as work experience on base. We got tours around certain departments such as air traffic control and engineering. And it was a good week to show us what life in the RAF is like, to show us what life living on an RAF base is like. So it cemented to me then that being in the RAF is the place I want to be. So within my first year, I've realised that the air training corps is where I want to be. In my second year, I know that the RAF is where I want to be. In 2011, I was invited back to Wales to go paragliding for a week. It was a very good week, but unfortunately it was too windy for us to paraglide. So they put on other activities instead. We did other types of adventure training, such as mountain biking, climbing, abseiling, basically everything we can get up to. So it was a brilliant week. Whilst we were there, the RAF were also there doing the same training as us. So it showed me what kind of activities the RAF can get up to. It showed me that whilst I can apply for these activities whilst I'm in the Air Training Corps, I could if I was in the RAF as well. Again, cementing to me that the RAF is where I want to be. 2012, I was invited overseas to join headquarters Rheindalen. It was the headquarters of all military forces in Germany. Unfortunately, it's closed down in the past couple of months, so we were the last cadets to get to go. We did a lot of different activities. We visited a lot of RAF memorials, a lot of World War II memorials, a lot of museums, and the most special day for me was getting to visit the Mona Dam. The Mona Dam is one of the 3 dams destroyed by the dam busters in their famous raids. It was very special for us all to be able to stand on the dam and look out across the lake and imagine the aircraft coming in, dropping their bouncing bombs, being able to look up to the sky and imagine Wing Commander Gibson flying around trying to draw fire away from his colleagues. It was very special for all of us. It gave us a hint of what life was like living overseas in the forces. It was only a week, so it didn't show us what it was really like to be away from family and friends, but it was a good hint. And that brings us up to 2013. This January I was invited back to Germany again to go Nordic skiing. We did the Nordic skiing down in a place called Zwiesel, which is just on the border of the Czech Republic. Again, it was an adventure training week, very good fun. Again, the RAF were there training at the same time as us. One of the most important things we did was climb a mountain on skis, and that's what those 2 photos are. The photo on the left shows us on the way up, and the photo on the right shows the conditions at the top of the mountain. Visibility was rubbish. So again, with the RAF being there at the same time as us, it showed me what kind of things I can apply for if I get into the RAF. It showed me what the lifestyle is going to be like. And those are the main things I've done in the Air Training Corps. I've done a lot more, but those are the only ones I can tell you about for now. So how has it changed me? Well, like I said at the start, I was a shy little child back in November 2007, and I wouldn't have been able to stand up here in front of you. I've developed all sorts of different qualifications and experiences, all that can go on my CV. It's going to make me look an awful lot better than average Joe applying for a job. I know that the RAF is where I want to be because of the camps I've been on, the courses I've done. So whilst I apply for the RAF and the members of the Armed Forces Careers Office say, are you sure the lifestyle's for you? I know it's for me. So what am I now giving back? Well, obviously I've had a lot of experiences in cadets. I've had probably a bit more than the average cadet, so it's time for me to give back. So I've put myself through different courses to aid my squadron. As I was a younger cadet coming up through the ranks, the DofE wasn't really available to us, the Duke of Edinburgh's award. We didn't really have a Duke of Edinburgh leader on squadron to guide all the cadets through it. So in December 2010, I put myself through the course so that we can now offer it on squadron. So it's now my job to guide other cadets, other 13 to 18-year-olds through their awards. Another activity I was deprived of was fieldcraft training. We have to do a special course to become fieldcraft instructors, and it's over 2 weekends, and you have to deliver lessons, prove that you know the ACP16 knowledge, and prove that you can take cadets out safely. Put myself through the course in March this year. So now at Keighley Squadron, we can take cadets out for up to 7 days to live out in the woods, practice fieldcraft training, all the things I was deprived of as a cadet. I've also been invited onto the training team for the fieldcraft. So I now train and assess staff members on their competency to take cadets out and teach fieldcraft properly, but more importantly, safely. This yellow lanyard I'm wearing here shows that I'm an instructor cadet on squadron. As an instructor cadet, it's my job to deliver lessons to the younger cadets on aviation studies and the sort of things we do our classifications on. So as I've come up through the ranks over the years and learned all about the aviation studies, it's now my turn to pass the knowledge back on to other cadets so that they get the same knowledge I've had. Finally, I also handle all the camps and courses on squadron. Obviously, as you've seen, I've done a lot of different camps and courses. I've had an awful lot of different experiences. It's now my turn to ensure that the other cadets are getting the same opportunities. So as Wing pass them down to us, I liaise with the cadets and with the staff to make sure that all the cadets are getting as many opportunities as they can. In the past 12 months, Keighley Squadron has sent different cadets on 13 different camps and courses. So there's a lot of different opportunities available to them now. I'd like to finish with some thank yous, starting with my parents and family for funding me and driving me about, pushing me through the good times and the hard times. My commanding officer, Flight Lieutenant Paul Crabtree, for being an inspiration on squadron. He's really turned the squadron around. He's given me a lot of different opportunities. He's been a real help. Central and East Yorkshire Wing staff, for all the different opportunities they've provided us. They've always been there to help out with DofE, with any problems that all of us have. And finally, the Reserve Force and Cadet Association and Her Majesty's Lord-Lieutenant for this opportunity tonight. It's a real honour to be selected, and I hope I can prove an inspiration for all the cadets on squadron and the rest of West Yorkshire. Thank you for listening.
Before the Lord-Lieutenant presents the awards, an officer from each of the services will read out the citation for their cadets. Or cadets, I say. Flight Lieutenant Paul Crabtree, Commanding Officer of 2431 Keighley Squadron, ATC.
Jonathan joined the ATC in 2007 and has progressed through the classifications to Master Cadet. Warrant Officer Snowden is an experienced and enthusiastic member of the squadron and has attended several annual camps both in the UK and overseas. He has excelled at courses including paragliding and attended a wing adventurous training camp in the Yorkshire Dales. He recently qualified as a Fieldcraft Instructor and has been requested by the regional team to assist with teaching the subject. Warrant Officer Snowden has completed his gliding scholarship and flew solo in February 2012. He has also flown his local air experience flight. He's a keen sportsman and has represented the Air Training Corps in both swimming and athletics. He's participated in many of the squadron's fundraising activities on behalf of the Poppy Appeal and the Royal Air Force Association Wings Appeal. Jonathan is currently working in IT on short-term contracts with a view to making this part of his full-time career. Warrant Officer Snowden is a smart, respectful and a shining example to all cadets. Respected by both staff and cadets, without him my squadron would not be as efficient, disciplined or organised as it is. He is everything and more that an Air Cadet should be.
The Lord-Lieutenant Cadet for 2013 for the Air Training Corps, Cadet Warrant Officer Jonathan Snowden.
Jonathan, I so much enjoyed hearing your presentation. I loved hearing about the travelling abroad, and even more than that, I loved hearing about all you're giving back now to the cadets, all the new things you brought in, particularly the Duke of Edinburgh Award. It's a splendid achievement. When one thinks that you've also been going through school as well, but you've managed to fit all this in, it's quite astounding. So I'm delighted to appoint you my Lord Lieutenant's Cadet and to give you the badge. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had some pretty special cadets in my time, but I give you my word that these three are the three most outstanding ones to come to me. They've achieved so much, given so much back, travelled abroad when they've had a chance to do that. They are smartness personified. They made their presentations excellently, and it's a jolly nerve-wracking thing to do, I think. I get nervous before this kind of thing. And altogether, they're absolute stunners. I had a word with them all beforehand about Remembrance Sunday, when I'm going to be going to Bradford this year. And I think I know who's coming to Bradford with me. You two others, you could go to Leeds or Wakefield, but I think maybe as you're from Meltham, you'd probably like to go to Huddersfield, wouldn't you? And I see the Mayor of Huddersfield is here too, and one of my senior deputy lieutenants will be with me. Keighley also has an excellent parade, and if that's the one you'd like to go to, you do that. Or if you want to go to Leeds with the Vice Lord Lieutenant, that's fine, but we can talk about these things a little bit later. If you're not around, not all over the world next July, and the way you all travel, you might well be out of the country, we're going to have a big service at Leeds Minster to mark the beginning of the First World War. Any of you who are here are very welcome to come to that service on the 27th of July. The Yorkshire Regiment Band is going to lead the large parade going down there, and the service is going to be something extraordinary. Colonel Snagg and I are already working on it quite hard, so I hope if you're in England, you three will come. Other opportunities will come up, but they're not going to come all the time, and it wouldn't be fair on you if they did, because you've got your commitments as cadets and you've got academic commitments as well. And I think the secret of a successful life is to compartmentalise. You can fit in everything, provided you're disciplined about not doing too much in any one direction. It's something we all have to learn again and again, and you've learnt it up to now. But I'm not going to take you away a great deal from your work. However, I should like you all to come with me once or twice during the year. You've said thank yous to your families, and you've said thank yous to your commanding officers, and I'm so glad you've done that. I would like to say thank you to you and everybody here at Minden House for entertaining us this evening.